All right, great morning, business owners and managers, and welcome to another episode of CX in the Morning, Customer Experience in the Morning. I'm your host, Wess Walters, and on every single CX in the Morning, I bless you with customer service tips, customer experience tricks, and I leave you with gems. And by gems, I mean actionable takeaways that you can implement at the speed of now. You will learn the importance of implementing an awesome customer experience and how that affects your bottom line. And that is pretty awesome. That's why this is awesome TV. So today we are going to be doing part 2 of the SWOT analysis. If you watched Friday's show, Friday we talked about the importance of doing a SWOT analysis on yourself and also, of course, on your business. And I don't know why, but the questions never come in during the show. I don't know if you're a business owner, you have to be audacious. I'm not sure why business owners are shy to ask questions live, but immediately after the show, my autofocus is messing up. Immediately after the show, I will get the messages in my DM. Now, I wish you guys would ask the questions while we're live, because here's why. See or consider this as group coaching. If you ask the question, someone else who has that same identical question is going to profit from it. And when someone else is asks a question that you're not aware of, if you ask it in a group setting, you benefit from it. So yes, you can DM me, but it would be better if you ask the questions out loud during the live, because and these are not people that are watching the replay. No, because immediately if I finish at 8:30, 8:35, someone's in the DM, hey, can you explain this? So it's important that you guys ask the questions in a public setting while we're here, because it allows others to benefit from your question. So a lot of questions came in after, which I wasn't even aware of, that I didn't show, or how to literally do a SWOT. I was talking more from up here. I need people say, bring it down, Wes. We still, after watching the video, I still didn't understand what to do or what to consider. And interestingly enough, most were concerned about my personal SWOT, not so much about the SWOT that I did on the business, the fake business called Leslie's Beauty Supply. So let me pull up Leslie's Beauty Supply, and we're going to talk about the 6 things to consider when building a SWOT. All right, so let's pull up the last one on that we did on Leslie's. Let me share my screen, and we will be ready to go. All right, so here we go. So this is the SWOT that I did on Leslie's Beauty Supply store. Again, Leslie's Beauty Supply store is not a real beauty supply store. It was something that we just thought about, and to make an example or an illustration. So here are the strengths. Not sure how well you guys can see this. Let's try to zoom in a little. Oh, that's actually making it smaller. There we go. Oh, well, I guess 100 is all it gets. All right, so some of the strengths for Leslie's Beauty Supply store is that Leslie was known in the community. She was a staple in the community. Her family was born and raised in that community, and that's where she's been her entire life. So that's a huge strength. That is a huge strength. And again, I made the illustration where before Leslie's Beauty Supply store, most of the beauty supply stores in this community were Asian owned. So to have a sister, a Black woman, finally stop praying about it and talking about it and raise the mantle and started on and opening her own beauty supply store, this was a very big win for the community. So she's known in the community. Another strength is that Leslie has retail experience. Again, in the example that I gave, owning a beauty supply store, a lot of times we have individuals who have stylist background or beauticians have a beautician background, and they feel, well, because I was a beautician, I have a cosmetology background, I can go in and successfully launch a beauty supply store. Yes, of course, having knowledge about products and chemicals is a huge benefit. However, someone who has more of a retail background would be more successful in a beauty supply store than someone who has a cosmetology background, because beauty supply stores are retail. So someone who's worked at Home Depot, someone who has worked at Walgreens or any other retail setting are more of an advantage than someone who has a cosmetology degree. Now, of course, having a cosmetology background is a plus. By all means, it is a plus, but not a greater plus than someone who has a retail experience. All right. So that was a plus, a strength for the beauty for Leslie. Another strength for Leslie is that her business was in a position where there was lots of foot traffic for Leslie. Now let's go over to the weaknesses. The weaknesses is Leslie was a first generation business owner, and Leslie has a temper. Because of her temper, employees don't stick around long, especially the millennials that she hired. You can't talk to a millennial sideways. You got about one time to talk to a millennial and raise your voice, and they're gone. So Leslie was constantly spending money, time and money, retraining employees because of the high employee churn numbers. Another weakness was that Leslie's beauty supply store was right next to a barbershop. So her customers, most who were female, constantly had to deal with the thirsty men at the barbershop, constantly, hey, trying to holler at them, or some of them even being disrespectful. So that is a huge weakness for Leslie's beauty supply store. Now, another weakness that we highlighted for Leslie Beauty Supply Store is that her store was on the wrong side of the road. It was on the wrong side of the flow of traffic. So let's just say Leslie, like in Atlanta, again, I live on the east side. So Leslie, if I was Leslie, I would want my beauty supply store to be on the east flow of traffic, so that when individuals are leaving Atlanta and come into Covington, that they would automatically pass my store on the same side and not have to do a U-turn. Because if they have to do a U-turn, they're not going to stop. They're going to continue on to your competition. Perfect example. How many of us has, of course, all of us who drive, we normally stop on the gas station. And I don't know if I say I would like, I prefer, my default is to go to Quick Trip. However, I'm not making a U-turn for Quick Trip. If Shell is on the same side of the floor of traffic, I'm going to stop at Shell. I'm going to stop at BP. I'm going to stop at one of the other gas stations. However, if my main choice, here it is, my main choice is Quick Trip. But I don't love Quick Trip that much that I would make a U-turn for Quick Trip. And that's the same mentality that most customers have when dealing with your business. So that was a huge weakness for Leslie's. I'm glad you agree, Paul. That is a huge disadvantage for Leslie's Beauty Supply Store. Now, let's talk about the opportunities. Now, it's important to highlight up here, the strengths and the weaknesses. These are things that are internal. These are internal within the business. These are things that Leslie can control inside the business. Strengths and the weaknesses are internal, and they are positive. These are the positives. So the left side, this left side are positives, and the top side are internal. All right. So the positives that are internal would be strengths and opportunities. Everybody sees that? Let me know if you understand that, Paul. Before I move forward, the strengths and the weaknesses are things that you can control on the inside of your business. Strength and opportunities are positives. Of course, now external are opportunities and threats. Let me know if you understand that correctly, Mr. Paul, if that is understood. All right, so let's move on to opportunities. Now, again, opportunities and threats are external. These are things you cannot, these are things that are outside of the business. All right, Paul says he understands. Great. So opportunities for Leslie's beauty supply store is that black hair is here to stay. Black hair is not going anywhere. Another opportunity is there has been a rise in black consciousness, and black consumers are being intentional with their purchases and are intentionally seeking out other black owned businesses to support. So this is a a massive opportunity for Leslie's beauty supply store. This is a huge opportunity. And if Leslie is smart, Leslie would capitalize off of this insurgent of black consciousness and black consumers who want to spend their dollar with another black owned black business. So this is a huge opportunity. Now, again, moving over to threats, which is again external. External is a threat is mobile beauty supply stores. And I don't have the picture pulled up right now, but I shared on Friday's show where a mobile beauty supply store is pretty much, everyone is familiar with Redbox. Mobile beauty supply store is a Redbox, a larger Redbox, which is pretty much a snack machine, a large snack machine where individuals can select what products they want. They want weaves. They want the most profitable products. The most profitable products at a beauty supply store would be in this self-managed snack machine. It is a snack machine with beauty supply store products. That is a huge threat for Leslie and her team if she is not ahead of the curve. Now, it's not a threat if Leslie invest in some of these self-made boxes. She could put them at the airport. She could put them at the exotic dancing clubs. She can put them at the Georgia War Congress Center or any convention center. She can place them on colleges. Oh my God, how did I forget that? Colleges. So individuals no longer have to drive to Leslie's beauty supply store. There is a mobile Leslie beauty supply store at any location and prime real estate. So that is a huge threat if Leslie is not taking advantage of it. Another threat is that 1 block down, Walmart is building a new Walmart right now. I know this is real small for you guys, but what this says is another threat is that a Walmart is being built right 1 block away from Leslie's beauty supply store. Huge threat, because a lot of times I'll give my example for my daughter. When I am shopping groceries with my daughter and she says, Daddy, I need to go to the beauty supply store. My first rebuttal, especially if we're in Walmart, my first rebuttal is like, does Walmart sell it? Can we get what you're looking for at Walmart? Because I don't want to make another stop. I want to go home. But my daughter's like, no, some things of course, some things she can only find at a beauty supply store that Walmart does not carry. Yes, but for the most things, when I ask her, can we get it at Walmart, she almost replies yes. So that is a huge another threat, because a lot of Leslie's market share is gonna wither away because of the opening of that new Walmart. Let me know if you guys understand how Walmart is going to take some of her market share. Let me know if you understand that. Yes, Leslie does not sell groceries, but Walmart sells some of the beauty supply stuff that Leslie sells. You see the mix, man? Leslie doesn't sell groceries. Walmart does. In addition to groceries, Walmart also sells some of the products, the weave, the wave grease, the do-rags that Leslie's beauty supply store opens. So because a new Walmart is being built 1 city block away from Leslie's, that is a huge threat. Type 1 if you see that, if that makes sense. That is a huge threat. Paul says he got it. Paul says he's got it. All right. Another threat is that the anchor store in the plaza or the strip mall that Leslie's beauty supply store is in, that is closing down. So Leslie was in a strip mall with a Kroger. Well, there's not a Kroger's in every city, in every state. What's a grocery store that most people can? Everyone pretty much has a Publix in their state, right? If you don't know what Kroger is the Publix, the equivalent to Publix in your state. Or what's another? Do they have Winn-Dixie still? Well, everyone has a Publix. So the anchor store in the plaza that Leslie's beauty supply store is in was a Publix. And a huge threat is that Publix is closing, going out of business. Publix is not renewing their lease. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the gem of the day. This is the CX gem of the day. This is the CX God. If an anchor store, if you have business in a strip mall and an anchor store is going out of business, or if an anchor store is moving, if an anchor store is not renewing their lease, you do not renew your lease. Let me say that again. If you are, all right, so Miss Lewis says there's Kroger. So most people understand, I guess, I know in certain states don't have Kroger. So I wanted to give a supermarket that everyone has. So I think Publix is mostly nationwide. Kroger is more Southern and East Coast. But Publix is in I think I've seen a Publix in every state I've been to. So an anchor store, going back to what I was saying, an anchor store, if you're in a strip mall or a plaza with an anchor store, Publix, supermarket, a Macy's, a Whole Food, any supermarket, if that anchor store does not renew its lease, you better not renew your lease, because these anchor stores spend a lot of money on market research. And if they did not renew their lease, they are aware that there's going to be a shift in that neighborhood. Now, you don't have to spend the money in market research. They did it for you. Take heed, and whatever you can do to get out of that lease, get out of that lease, because that plaza, all of the smaller stores feed off of that anchor store. That is the host. If you understand science and biology, that is the host. If that host dies, those other stores, 9 out of 10 times die as well. If the host, if you're taking you back to 6th grade biology, if the host dies, if there's I don't want to say leech, but if there's a leech on an animal, if there's a leech or a tick, everyone has pets, right? If you have a dog and there's a tick on your dog, if your dog dies, the tick also dies. All right. So this was the example of Leslie's beauty supply store. And again, you will be amazed. Most individual, good information. That is good information. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Leslie. That is very, very happy that you're enjoying it. Very happy that you're enjoying it. All right. So now let's talk about individuals wanted to see most of the DMs were individuals telling me that, hey, Wes, I really enjoyed your SWOT analysis. All right. You asked for it. Now you're going to get it. I'm playing. Well, let's talk about my SWOT analysis, right? So let's talk about some of my strengths. Now, as a business owner or a manager or the person at the helm of the organization, it's important that you do a SWOT analysis on yourself. Because if your life is in shambles, then how are you going to lead a corporation? How are you going to lead a business if your life is in shambles? So it's no shade. And again, I'm using myself as a guinea pig out of total transparency. So if I can do it, you can do it as well in secret. You don't have to hide, but I'm willing to put my stuff on Front Street so that you can see that I have weaknesses too. I have foibles. I have things that I need to work on that I'm constantly working on. So it's no shade. All right. So you can't read these, I'm assuming, because this looks extremely small. So I'm going to read them to you. So some of the strengths, or I'm college educated. Not that that means much. It means that I have more student loans than you, but I've read a lot of books. That's what college educated means, right? I have a master's in business, so I'm not just some Trump off the street. I have a pretty good understanding of business. Not only did I finish undergrad, but I went to graduate school to learn more about business, about microeconomics and macroeconomics, and about project management. So I have an MBA in business. That's a strength. I'm married. This is very, very important. Very important. Many times when I used to be a freelancer, I always kept in my bag. I kept this in my bag. One second, let me find it because I still have it in my bag. Here it is. So when I was a freelancer, I kept this in my bag. You're like, what is this? Can you guys see? This is a wedding ring / opener. So if you look at it, it looks like a full wedding ring. But at the bottom is the opener. So you can literally open bottles at a drop of a dime. But why was this important? Because sometimes you would meet a female client that would get a little too close for comfort. Now, as a hustler, I'm about my paper. I'm about my bread. I'm about money. I like money. So whenever I would see a female customer, and brothers, listen up. This is important. You can get these at any airport. I bought this in Houston, and I would have like 5 of these. So whenever I would see one of my friends about to mess up his money, I would be like, look, you need to put player, put this on. So immediately, whenever there was a female customer that was getting a little too close for comfort, who didn't want to do the side hugs, but wanted a front hug, like, okay, let me put on my fake ring. And these would allow you to consistently keep your eye on your money. Because again, it looks like a wedding ring, but it's really an opener. It's a bottle opener. So you're the guy when everyone is walking around with the bottles, like, you got an opener, you always had one. And it always served as this was called a protect your money bag. Because one thing you never want to do is get into a relationship with a client because it's going to affect your money. You don't want to do that. So this will keep female customers away and allowing you to stay focused on your money. So that is also a strength because also some female customers who are thinking of probably doing business with Wess are going to be like, okay, he's kind of good looking. The last guy that I did business with tried to take me out on a date, but Wess is married, so I know I'm straight, I'm safe. So that is a huge strength, knowing that I'm married, right? Another strength is that I'm not sure if you can read it. I'm going to read it for you. I'm a proven entrepreneur. I'm not just talking about it. I've been an entrepreneur my daughter is 15, so I've been an entrepreneur for 17 years. Proven. Full-time entrepreneur. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. If I don't hunt, I don't eat, and I only eat what I kill. Full-time entrepreneur. I'm spiritual. Why is that important? Because you don't want someone at the top of the organization who is just motivated by money. Yes, I love money, but I'm not. That is not the essence of Wess. Spirituality comes first. That I believe in God. So that is a strength when someone is looking to bring you on board as how can you lead H-Town. Oh, I guess she's from H-Town. So having some type of grounding is important. Have business acumen. I'm physically in shape. Yeah, that's a strength. I run a mile let me just brag for a second. I run a mile in 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So at 43, so I'm physically in shape. That is a huge strength because you could want it in your mind all day. Here's the rule. Biology always wins. Biology always wins. So even if your mind wants it, if your body can't do it, then it's a loss. For 1 second, don't you ever think that if you're looking for a job and you're about to go in for an interview, that the employer is not looking at your physical health. Not for 1 second do you not think that. Yes, they want to know, is this person going to drop down dead in 6 months, or can they, operate under stress, and are they in shape? If you're going to be a full-time entrepreneur, part of the business is you staying in shape and staying healthy. Being hydrated, drinking a lot of water so you can go longer hours. 6:30. I'm not sure what 6:30 means, Paul. Paul, what does 6:30 mean? I'm well-traveled. That's a strength. Why was being well-traveled and cultured important? Because I am able to interact with from customers from other parts of the world. I've been in a plane. I have a passport. I've been to Ghana. I've been to throughout Europe, Germany, Paris, Italy, Switzerland. So I don't just have an American. I've been all through the Caribbean. I just don't have an American point of view or perspective. I'm able to interact and know what it's like to deal with others from other countries. That is a huge strength. Team car note. I don't have a car note today. I put that in there. So, that's another expense that I don't have. I can focus on the other things because I don't have the reoccurring 30 days, every 30-day car note. Knowledge of self, ambitious. I'm an author on customer service, film director, music video director, video engineer, and cinematographer. Why is that important? You're like, what does that have to do? These are all strengths, because if I am the business owner and we are soliciting a video production company to come in and shoot a commercial for us, I can say, hold up, it doesn't cost that much, one, and I can contribute or add to the image and the final product. That is huge. So sometimes you might have individuals working for you that have skills that you're not even aware of, that you're not even tapping into. You might have a college student who shoots video that can shoot you a commercial for you. Huge strength. Let's talk about my weaknesses now. If you're going to have strengths, you got weaknesses, right? I've been told I'm too strict. I'm too strict. I like things done a certain way, and when it comes to discipline, I'm like, okay, I've been told I've been too strict. That's a weakness. A lot of employees might not stick around me because I like accountability. If you can't do accountability, employees that don't like accountability don't stick around. Weakness. Student loan debt. That with that master's degree comes Team Sally Mae. Weakness. I speak fast. You guys can agree. I speak fast. I cut people off. My co-hosts when they're on the show. I've been told that, hey, Wes, you jump in a lot. So weakness. I try to do a lot more than I like to put a lot of things on my plate, and my default answer is yes. I'm trying to change my default answer to no. If it's not a hell yeah, then it's a heck no. But because I'm always operating from a place of service, I tend to say yes a lot more times than I need to. All right, opportunities. Huge opportunities for me in 2020 to learn Forex trading. I'm actually learning that right now. Opportunities to master ad copy. I'm mastering ad copy right now. Opportunity is to get more real estate when this crash happens. Huge opportunities. Threats. Hypertension. I have hypertension and diabetes on both sides of my family. Both sides, my mother's side and my father's side, both have diabetes and high blood pressure. Hence why I exercise. I'm in shape because I don't want diabetes or hypertension. So these are threats. If I don't take, if I'm not intentional on my exercise and on what I eat, I could potentially get hypertension or diabetes. I don't want either, so I actively exercise every single day. All right. So this is my personal SWOT. And if you as a business owner, as a manager, you should be doing personal SWOTs as well. Now, let's jump in real quick before it ends about how to start implementing and the 6 things you need to keep in mind when creating a SWOT. All right. So let's stop sharing screen. Great. Let me know if this is making sense. If you guys are still there, Mr. Paul, if this is making sense, Miss Lewis, just hit a 1. You are right. Just put a 1 if this is making sense. Put a 1 if this is making sense. If this is not making sense, if this is unclear, put a 2. Put a 2 if this is unclear. Let me know if this is making sense. If anything is making sense, and if you have any questions. All right, while the delay is coming in, let's jump in on the 6 things you need to do when creating your SWOT analysis, whether that's for your business. How often do we review and update the SWOT? Great question. Great question. You see this? She did not ask this question in my DM. She did not say, I don't want to look foolish. I don't know. She asked the question so that everyone else who is watching can benefit from the answer. Great question. How often should you update the Brian Gustav is in the building. What's up, Brian? How often should you update the SWOT? You should update the SWOT at least twice a year. I used to do them every quarter. Very cumbersome. Don't do it every quarter. That's the overachiever in me. Do not do it every quarter. Do it twice a year, every 2 quarters. So you could do it in January. You could do it in June. Twice a year. No more than twice a year. So great question, Miss Lewis. All right. So 6 things to do when creating a SWOT. 1, keep it simple. KISS. Keep it simple, silly. Keep it simple. The SWOTs, like I just showed you, are just bullets. You elaborate within the meeting with your team. The team meeting is when you elaborate, but the SWOT analysis does not have to be as detailed. Let me share that again so you can see it. As you can see, these SWOTs are just bullets. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bullets, 3 bullets, 1, 2, 3, 4 bullets, 4 bullets. Yeah, so the bullets are real simple. The SWOT is real simple. You don't go in as detailed with the SWOT. It's real simple, and you go into detail with your team at the meeting of how we're going to implement these things. What's going on, Brian? Brian is my childhood friend, man. Hey, nice to see you participating, man. Are you a manager or a business owner? Let me know what you do. So again, keep it simple. Number 2, on the 6 things you should do when implementing your SWOT. Good morning, Miss Dorsey. Everybody, stop what you're doing and go to KJ Beauty Supply on Instagram and on Facebook. If you ever need top-notch beauty supply products, and it doesn't matter what city you're in or what state you're in, they will ship and mail it to you. I personally have ordered some pink moisturizer, some OG pink moisturizer from KJ Beauty Supply. It came in record time, and that's the best thing since sliced bread. So that's a gem right there. KJ Beauty Supply for all your beauty supply stores. If you are afraid of going out because of COVID, you don't have to go out. You just go to KJ Beauty Supply and order it right there. Boom. All right. Second thing on the list when completing your SWOT analysis is that you want to get your employees involved. You want to get your employees involved. You, as a business owner or a manager, you're up here. You're at 30,000 feet. Your employees are at the bottom. Not at the bottom. They're on the ground floor. So they see a lot of things that you don't see, that you're unaware of. So getting your employees involved in their opinions and your other managers involved is paramount in having a successful SWOT analysis. Number 3 on the 6 things you should do when creating, or things you should have and keep in mind when creating a SWOT analysis, is keep the company's mission statement in mind. Also, number 4, keep the customer experience mission statement in mind. Anyone who's been following me, if you're new to this show, you're like, I've heard of what a company mission statement is, but what in the heck is a customer experience mission statement? All of the loyal followers like Miss Dorsey knows the importance of a customer experience mission statement in addition to the company's mission statement. So right on the plaque, right next to the company's mission statement, you have the customer experience mission statement. And if you're like, what the heck is that? Send me a DM and I will help you create one. But you want to keep those 2 things in mind when creating a SWOT analysis. Number 5, this is the gem. This is the gem. All right, everybody type gem in the chat because this is one that you don't want to forget. All right. A strength in one department, can be a weakness in another department. A strength in one category can be a weakness in another category. All right. What do I mean by that? So take for example, Cadillac. Oh yeah, let me share the screen, right? Let me share screen. Boom, 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 boom. Cadillac, boom. So Cadillac had a serious issue when they were reinventing themselves. When Cadillac, they had an issue because they were always known as, Cadillac is old people's cars. Cadillac is right up there with Buick and Oldsmobiles, right? Cadillac. So Cadillac needed to reinvent themselves. Now, look at this. Look at this whack logo. This was the logo of Cadillac. The O It looks like something from 1956. Looks old and outdated, right? Cadillac had to now this was a strength in one category. Cadillac is a name and is a brand that's been here for years, and it's a reliable name. So that is a strength. A weakness is that the millennials don't want to deal with that. They're like, that's grandpa's car. My grandfather had a Cadillac, right? So Cadillac, which was a strength. The name Cadillac. Now, if anyone who's familiar with Cadillacs, it's Chevy Buick. No, Chevy, GMC, Buick, Cadillac. So those are the brands on the GMC. These are the best, better. So it's the base model is Chevrolet. After Chevrolet, you have GMC. And then after GMC, you have Buick. And the top of the line is Cadillac. So these are under the GMC's umbrella, these four. The Cadillac being the premier brand, Chevrolet being the base brand, right? So Cadillac had a great name in regards to being here and being reliable and being known as the premier brand for the GMC. However, it was known as the grandfather's car. Nobody wanted to drive the grandfather car. So which was a strength. The strength was it was known, it was dependable. That was a strength in the SWOT analysis. That was a strength. However, it was a weakness to the millennials. So Cadillac had to compete with the Lexuses, the BMWs, the Infinities, because the millennials were all gravitating towards those brands. Those Japanese brands knew how to target the millennials and the younger generation. Nobody wanted to drive grandpa's Cadillac. Look at the logo. Look how whack it is, right? Look how whack and old it looks. Look at that. Old. They had ducks in the Cadillac. The Cadillac logo had ducks in it. I'm not sure if you could see that, right? It had ducks. There it is. Look, ducks, no ducks with the new Cadillac. It had ducks in the Cadillac. The wreath looks old. Then they rebranded it with this nice, sleek, modern Cadillac look, right? Look at the cars. This is an Eldorado. This is grandpa's car. Nobody wants to drive that unless your name is Snoop and you're from Long Beach. Unless you're a Long Beach rapper named Snoop, nobody really wants to drive that, right? So Cadillac was forced with revamping the brand. Again, a strength in one category was a huge weakness for them in another category. Now, I would drive that. I'm a Japanese type of guy. I'm a Toyota, Lexus, Infinity, Nissan type of guy. But my friend, I would rock that. Yes, there is nothing about that says grandpa's Cadillac. Let's go farther. Oh, that's a Cadillac. I would definitely rock that. So Cadillac took a weakness and capitalized off of it. I'm going to tell you about that later on. Boom. I would definitely drive that Cadillac. So we can see how easily taking a strength in one category could be a weakness in another. All right. So we saw that. Enough said. Let's keep it moving.